Once upon a time, there were 25 tin soldiers that were in a box. The toy soldiers were brave and handsome. Each tin soldier wore a smart blue uniform. One soldier that had been made last had only one leg, as the toy maker had run out of tin. The one-legged tin soldier was as brave and handsome as all the other soldiers in the box. The box was given to a boy on his birthday. The boy placed the box in his room filled with wonderful toys. The tin soldier noticed a beautiful doll that stood on one leg in her ballerina pose. He fell in love with her at once, as he believed she stood on one leg just like him, and she was so lovely. The ballerina thought the tin soldier was so handsome. She fell in love with him at first sight, too. One day, the boy took the soldier out to play by the canal. He made a paper boat and put the tin soldier in it. All of a sudden, a big downpour whisked away the paper boat, and the brave tin soldier sailed quickly towards a dark tunnel. He was very brave and stood steadfast on his one leg. In the tunnel was a big rat who demanded to see the tin soldiers pass. The water came so fast that the rat could not catch the paper boat, and the tin soldier was happy to be out of the rat's reach. The tin soldier wondered what lay ahead as he stood bravely in his paper boat in the dark tunnel. He also wondered if he would ever see his true love, the ballerina, ever again. Suddenly, he heard a great wall of water. The tin soldier knew he was heading for the end of the tunnel, and a great waterfall must lay ahead. He stood bravely on his one leg as his soggy paper boat flipped end over end and sank into the whirlpool at the end of the waterfall. He thought to himself, "I will never see my ballerina again." All of a sudden, a great fish swallowed him up. It was so dark inside the giant fish, but the tin soldier was as brave as ever. After a long time, the fish was caught by a fisherman's hook. The fisherman took the fish home to cook for dinner. Upon cleaning the fish, the cook exclaimed, "Well, if it is not the young boy's toy tin soldier inside this fish." The tin soldier was thrilled to be home as the cook placed him back in the toy room. The tin soldier saw his sweet ballerina poised on her one leg across the room. The one-legged toy soldier smiled when the little boy approached. "Where have you been?" said the little boy. "You smell like fish and are so dirty." The little boy opened the window and tossed the tin soldier out the window. The tin soldier remained brave as he landed on a large bed of petunias below the window. The tin soldier was very sad, but he remained brave as he lay among the flowers. Just then, as the boy was playing with the ballerina on the window ledge, a gentle wind knocked the ballerina to the ground below. Straight into the petunia garden. The brave tin soldier could not believe his eyes when his ballerina landed right in front of him. The tin soldier asked her to stay with him and be his wife. "Yes," she exclaimed, "I thought you would never ask." The tin soldier and his ballerina were married in the flower garden below. In the moonlight, she would dance for him among the flower petals. They remained true to each other forever, living in the lovely flower garden as husband and wife. Once upon a time, there was a mother pig who told her 3 little pigs it was time for them to build their own home and move out. She told them to build their homes to be safe from the big bad wolf. The first little pig bought some straw and built his house. Soon enough, a wolf came along and knocked on his door. The wolf asked, little piggy, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," answered the little pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And the wolf blew down the little piggy's straw house. The second little pig built a house made of sticks. Along came the wolf, who said, little piggy, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," said the little pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the wolf. The wolf blew down the stick house. The third little piggy made a house of bricks. He built a very strong house. Soon enough, along came the wolf. He knocked on the pig's door and said, little piggy, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," said the pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the wolf. So the wolf huffed and he puffed, but he could not blow down the strong brick house. The wolf sat down and wondered how he could get that nice little pig outside the brick house. Then he had an idea. "Little pig," he called, "come with me to the farmer's turnip field. It is quite full of nice turnips. I will come for you at 6 o'clock tomorrow." "Okay," said the little pig. But the clever little pig got up at 5 o'clock and went to the turnip field and gathered all the turnips he could carry. He was back home at 6 when the wolf arrived. The wolf was very angry when he realized he had been tricked, but he did not show it. He had another plan. He thought of another idea to get the pig out of his house. The wolf invited the pig to the fair and said, "We can meet and go together at 3 o'clock sharp." The pig squealed, "Oh, I love fairs. I would love to go." The little pig slipped out early to the fair and had a wonderful time, playing games and eating cotton candy. He even bought a nice new barrel to collect his rainwater. On the way home from the fair, he saw the wolf coming up to meet him. The little pig climbed into his new barrel to hide. The barrel began to roll and rolled right past the wolf. The barrel scared the wolf, and he ran all the way home. After a while, the wolf went to tell the pig about the strange barrel that was rolling right towards him. The little pig laughed and said, "It was only a barrel," the little pig told him. "I was inside the barrel." The big bad wolf did not like to be laughed at, and he was tired of the little pig's tricks. He was also very hungry. He wanted to eat the little pig. "Little pig, I am tired of your tricks. The time has come to eat you up." It had been so easy to huff and puff and blow down the straw and stick houses, but he had to figure out what to do to get into this little pig's brick house. The big bad wolf looked up and saw the chimney for the fireplace. And then he jumped up on the roof and shouted down, little piggy, down the chimney I will come to get you and eat you up." The little piggy put a huge pot of boiling water over the fire just in time. The big bad wolf jumped into the chimney and fell all the way down, right into the pot of hot water. And that was the end of the big bad wolf. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Heidi who lived with her aunt in the Alps, the highest mountains in Switzerland. One day, her Aunt Deet decided that Heidi should go and live with her grandfather, even higher up in the Alps mountains. Heidi's grandfather was known by everyone as a grumpy old man. Hey. When Aunt Deet and Heidi arrived, he was not happy when he learned Heidi had come to live with him. Heidi was such a cheerful girl who loved being in the mountains with her grandpa.
No.
She did not even notice how cranky he was. After a short while, Grandpa really began to enjoy Heidi's company. They grew very attached to each other. Heidi loved to help her grandpa, and she really enjoyed the mountain scenery and fresh air. She made friends with the local goat herd Peter. They had so much fun playing with goats and running through the mountain meadows. One day, Aunt Deet returned to tell Heidi it was time to go to school in Frankfurt. She would live with the Sussman family and their daughter, Clara. Heidi and her grandpa were very sad to say goodbye as she left for the big city of Frankfurt. When Heidi arrived in Frankfurt, she was taken aback by all the hustle and bustle of the big city. Heidi met the Sussman's governess and their daughter Clara. Clara was confined to a wheelchair, as she had been sick and her legs were not working properly. She was very excited to meet Heidi. The two girls became great friends. Heidi would sometimes play a little too wildly for the governess. The governess became very strict with Heidi. Heidi was sad. She was not used to city life, let alone being indoors so much. She felt trapped in the city and longed for her grandpa and their happy life in the mountains. The governess called Aunt Deet and explained how she was worried about Heidi. Aunt Deet came and took Heidi to the doctor. The doctor told Aunt Deet, Heidi needs to return to the mountains and she will feel much better. Heidi was so excited when she heard the news. She told Clara how much she would miss her, and then Aunt Deet took her to see her grandpa. When Heidi arrived at her grandpa's, they were so happy to see each other. Heidi immediately felt so much better. She called Clara to say she missed her, but she was also feeling so much better being back in the mountains. Clara asked her parents if she could visit Heidi. They said yes. Clara's parents also hoped the fresh mountain air would make Clara feel a little better. Clara arrived and played with Peter and Heidi. Clara loved the mountains and the fresh air and the goats. And she also began to feel so much better. One day, Clara thought she might try to walk. And it was a miracle. She actually was able to get out of her wheelchair and take some steps. When Clara's parents came back to pick up Clara, they could not believe their eyes when they saw Clara walking. "But where is her wheelchair?" asked Clara's mother. Peter admitted he had an accident. The wheelchair was now broken. Peter said how sorry he was. But Clara and her mother forgave him. "You helped me learn how to walk, Peter," said Clara, "and for that I am forever grateful." It was now time for Clara to return to the city. They all hugged and promised to remain friends forever. Grandpa declared Clara's miraculous recovery to be a miracle of the Alps mountains and true friendship. Everyone lived happily ever after, exchanging city and mountain visits forever. One day, the beautiful Pocahontas had a troubling dream about a spinning arrow. She went to visit her ancient friend, Grandmother Willow, to ask her advice about the dream. She asked Grandmother Willow, "What is my path?" Grandmother Willow told her about the spirits in the earth, water, and the sky. Listen to the spirits and they will guide you. Pocahontas climbed to the top of the tree's branches. She felt the wind blow around her and saw strange white clouds in the distance. The clouds were the sails of a ship that carried strangers to her land. That afternoon, Pocahontas spotted an adventurous man exploring the forest. For some reason, she was drawn to him. She followed him, and he turned to see who was near. John Smith and Pocahontas stared at each other for several minutes. John had never seen such a mysterious and beautiful woman. Pocahontas was scared, but John assured her he was not going to hurt her. Pocahontas did not understand his language, but rather listened with her heart. She introduced herself. "I'm Pocahontas," she said as they shook hands. They began to talk, and soon they bonded in a way that both had never experienced before. John met her friend the raccoon and hummingbird. Pocahontas guided John through her forest home, showing him the gentleness of a mother bear with her cubs. They listened to gray wolves cry and watched eagles fly to the tops of the sycamore trees. John was realizing that people had a lot to learn, and with Pocahontas as his teacher, he began to hear the voices in the mountains and even see colors in the wind. Pocahontas showed him how no one owned the land. Pocahontas went back to her village and showed her friend Nakuma her new friend John Smith. Nakuma was worried, as she had been warned that settlers were dangerous. Pocahontas made Nakuma promise not to tell anyone, as she left to take John to meet Grandmother Willow. Grandmother Willow advised Pocahontas that John was a good soul. Pocahontas was so very happy, and so was John. John left to return to his camp. When he was gone, Grandmother Willow suggested to Pocahontas that perhaps she had found her path. Back in her village, her friend Nakuma sent out a warrior to find John Smith. When Pocahontas returned to her village, the warrior had taken John prisoner. Pocahontas fell to her knees crying. Nakuma was so sorry for what she had done and told Pocahontas, "I am so sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing." Pocahontas visited John in the prisoner's teepee. John told Pocahontas, "I would rather die tomorrow than live 100 years without knowing you." Pocahontas needed some help, and she went to visit Grandmother Willow. As she was walking, her raccoon friend gave her a compass he had snuck from John's bag earlier. The compass's arrow was spinning around. "My dream," said Pocahontas. She knew she must return to save John from the warriors. She protected him, but he had already been wounded. Heavy-hearted, they both knew he must return home to survive. "We will always be in each other's hearts," they agreed, as they shared a tender kiss goodbye. As Pocahontas watched his ship sail away, the wind touched them both once again. The end.
It's the symbol of Ruby Rose, and it says to go this way.
Ooh.
A cave! Whoa! I can't believe it! Ooh, the Memoirs of Ruby Rose. Oh, wow!
Ooh.
Ruby Rose, one of the greatest ocean's most notorious pirates!
What a great pirate! She just found a real treasure!
I've been looking for this for so long, and I found it thanks to you, friend.
Huh? Thanks to us? What do you mean?
It's okay. I figured out that Daddy Longlegs didn't exist, and that you all made up a treasure hunt just for me. Thank you. Thank you, my friends.
You've impressed us, Pirata.
Yes, even on a fake hunt, you managed to find a real treasure. What a pirate!
Well, you're a great pirate too, Capitano.
Oh no, I'm an aviator.
Maybe, but without your treasure hunt, we would have never